How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. In this episode, we're going to continue on with our Huddle app. We're going to make the header, and the header looks as follows. It's going to have a H2, a paragraph, a button, and an image. The background will be this pale cyan, and on the desktop, or on the mobile, sorry, there will be a particular SVG background, and the desktop will also likewise have its own particular SVG background. Alright, so the easiest way to go about programming this, I think, is to add a component, and we'll call this my navbar, my header, sorry. And then in my header, I'm going to have a pug template. I'm going to have a v container. This is going to be fluid, so it takes up all the edges and has appropriate guttering. I'm going to have a v row, which will have two columns in there. V column 1. Which will consist of the H2 and the paragraph with block text notation. And then the next column will have the image. So the image like this. And we can just start with the image and work our way back up. So this will have the source. And I'll copy and paste this actually because it's quite a long name that I'm looking for in here. It's the illustrations mockup here. Alright, that's in. And in the paragraph we can get all this information from here. Again, this is provided by the front-end mentor. Alright, and we'll go get the header as well. Awesome, so that's the title, the paragraph, and we're also forgetting a button here. In here we'll just make it small, rounded, color can be primary. Just hit save and have a look at this, what this will do. So run the dev server. Great, that's running on port 3000, so go ahead and check that out. Alright, cool, so now all we have to do is import it. Fantastic. The button has no writing in there, but that's fine. Great. So all you want to do now is adjust some of the things. So, alright, so we should be fine now. Cool. So now we have it giving a max width and height. I guess the numbers are just a bit wrong. Let's correct that real quick. Give that an extra 100 pixels on the top. Alright, cool. Everything looks pretty well already. I think the easiest thing is to go through and give everything the appropriate settings. So if we look at the design, we want everything to be central on the mobile view and left aligned on the desktop. So if we just check out what it will look like on the mobile view, not central, not gapped, and that's fine. So real easy. We'll wonder why there's huge gaps here too, but that's also fine. So we'll go ahead and add a few of these classes in. For example, on the row, we want the text to be center. Command and save on that. And the text is now nice and center. The gap exists because in the default I forgot to indent my header so that it falls in the same line as the view that is below it. So now the text is center. Looking at the design, we want to add a margin to everything in here, and we want to add a padding to the whole container. So I think to the container we'll start with the padding left and right, and we'll give that something like 10. Let's take a look what that will do. Alright, that's pushed it in quite a lot, and that's nice. And we'll just start with the header. So if I shrink this across so we can see everything, I believe the header should have a margin top and bottom. of 5. And we could add this pragmatically also, but they're so easy to add by manually that it's not a problem. And we can give another one here. Probably just give this a slightly smaller one. All right, and then the button, it looks like, in fact, it looks like there could be quite a sizable gap. It might be worth giving it the same, or if not bigger. And then likewise for the button, we'll just probably give that something on the bottom. Margin boo of 5. Great, and the image likewise. Awesome. And then the last thing we really need to do is give this an ID of background hero, and then we can come in the bottom with the SAS style and just ID tag the background hero and give it a background color, and we'll go ahead and find the pale cyan. Oh, my header. Type that in, Command save. And the background is the blue that we need, and that looks fantastic. So now if we go ahead and check what this will look like out of desktop view to see what we'll need to do to organize it. Alright, and that's fine. So the easiest thing to do to adjust this for the desktop view would be just to say on the column, we'll give this a medium of 6. And likewise on this column too. And that'll throw them left and right of each other. And then I think something like text medium left. That'll just throw everything to the left. And then I suppose we could give this single column more padding. So we could say padding left and right of something like 8. Oh. So I suppose that's done what we expect, but maybe what would be even easier is just to make this maybe take less space. And then on here I would put justify, and then we just put space in between. Maybe just between. Yeah, cool. And then I'll push it along. That's just because if we look at the desktop, it's squished up slightly, but maybe not that much. Yeah, cool. And then I think the last thing is just to give it the SVG, right? So we'll do that really easily. Put this back in full view. And because this is going to require a media query, I'm going to say at media screen and max width of 400 pixels pics, and then in here we'll say the background hero will have a background image of URL assets. I believe it is the background hero mobile. Alright, and then if we take this whole thing also, copy it and say the min width 420, desktop, command save. Ooh, we have an error here. Oh, that's probably not resolving properly. The relative modules aren't found. Perhaps it's a squiggly line instead. Alright, cool, that's worked. Okay, fantastic. So now if we look at this, we have the image, so I'll use the selector to find the background here. And it has the ID of background image and the image's URL. And then if we change this to mobile view, the background image changes to mobile here. And everything falls in line where we expect it. I suppose the last little thing to do is these buttons just look a bit off, so we'll look at the style guide here. And they should be open sans with a size of 400 or 700. So I'll just do this in the default view because there's buttons all over. So we just say all the V button classes will have a font family open sans, a font weight of 400, and maybe a padding of 2M left and right. Yeah, cool. So that's changed them a little bit. I think even the text could be even a little bit thicker. Great. That looks pretty much like we expect here. So we have the try it free. I still think this is an open sans, but hey, we're going by style guide. The gaps could always be changed to be to preference, but as you can see, it's super easy to change and adjust, and making anything responsive is a complete breeze when using Nuxt with Beautify. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That would really mean a lot to me, starting out this new channel especially. And so yeah, be there in the next episode too, where we'll go ahead and do the 3 card section, which we'll call our main, and tackle how we'll solve this alternating pattern.